So you ever notice how allergies is just like the... Are you really going to rip that open while I'm doing a bit?
Oh, are we recording?
Yeah.
Oh,
no,
sorry.
it's okay. I'm just kidding. So you ever notice how allergies... That's what you call it when you have like a pollen allergy, right? It's allergies.
Allergies, yeah.
Why is that like the most important one? It's like a peanut allergy, you could die, right?
Yeah, but pollen's
But
like...
oh, I got a runny nose. That's the allergy.
Yeah, I have
like
no
oh,
idea.
you have a latex allergy? I'm dying of sniffles over here.
Do you have allergies?
Oh yeah.
You do?
Oh
Pollen?
yeah.
Pollen gets you?
It gets me bad, man.
Weak.
My eyes get all itchy and watery. My nose gets stuffed up. Do you?
Not really.
I thought everyone did. I thought it was like super common.
Like I get it a little bit, but not like debilitating. Where it's like
no, it's not like I gotta like take the day off or anything. But
yeah.
it just happens like every day that I step outside and breathe the air.
Yeah, no, mine's not like that.
No.
I get it like maybe for a week out of the year.
Man, if someone mows their lawn and I happen to be in the vicinity,
yeah, you're done.
no, that's it. Yeah.
Oh man, weak. Just kidding.
Yeah. I'm like the aliens from War of the Worlds.
Yeah.
Didn't they die because like the diseases or something?
I think so.
Oh, welcome to the Off the Shelf podcast. My name is Josh.
I'm Vinny.
What are we talking about, Vinny?
Man, today we're gonna talk about some Daredevil.
I love talking about Daredevil.
Me too. He's
Have
my...
we yet?
We have.
Yeah, we did.
We talked a little bit about Frank Miller's Daredevil, Man Without Fear, and I touched on this a little bit. This is Daredevil Born Again, which I just gave you my old paperback of.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna entice you a little bit to read it for yourself. So this was written by Frank Miller and drawn by David Mazzucchelli in 1980 whatever.
Convince me. Make me want to read this book.
All right. So it starts with Daredevil fighting a giant dinosaur. No,
well,
I'm kidding.
That's all it takes to get me.
It actually starts in Mexico.
Okay.
Right.
There's no dinosaur.
No dinosaurs at all in this book.
Well,
I'm
close
sorry.
it.
We're done.
That's it.
See you
thank
tomorrow.
you for listening to the Off the Shelf podcast.
Yeah. So you know Daredevil season 3?
I do.
It's kind of like this.
Okay.
But
It's very
a little
political.
different.
I mean, all of Daredevil.
All of Daredevil's political,
yeah.
but it's not overly political. It's more like the Return of the Kingpin.
Okay.
Right.
Return of the Kingpin.
Return of the Kingpin.
Yeah, that's my favorite Lord of the Rings movie.
Yeah. So it starts in Mexico, where this drug cartel guy is talking to this blonde woman, and the guy is like, I really like your movies. I'm a big fan of you. Turns out this is Karen Page from Daredevil, Daredevil's ex-lover, who has fallen into heroin and pornography.
She fell into it. She did it on accident. She tripped and fell on a needle, and it went into her arm.
Yes.
She tripped into the belt that tied onto her arm, and then she tripped again onto a needle.
That's exactly what happened.
Yeah. Why is it that whenever Mexico is in anything, it's always the cartel?
I don't know.
Okay. Continue. So she's in Mexico.
So she's in Mexico,
and she's an actress, I guess?
She's a porn star.
Oh, yes. You said
in
that
Mexico.
just a second ago. Yeah.
And so she's really fiending for some heroin.
Okay.
And this guy's like, I'll give you all the heroin you need, but you gotta give me something. And it's not like sex or anything. She ends up giving him the secret identity of Daredevil.
Did she offer sex?
Probably.
Okay.
So she gives him the secret identity of Daredevil, but he's just a random Mexican cartel guy. Why would he care about that? He's working for the Kingpin. Kingpin has his fingers in all of crime everywhere.
Even in Mexico?
Yeah.
Does he have his little dirty fingers in crime literally everywhere?
Everywhere.
Huh.
He has a far reach.
That's pretty impressive.
It is. So the guy's like, okay, I got Daredevil's secret identity. Kingpin's gonna love this. Now you're probably thinking well, this chick is clearly on drugs. Why would they listen to her about the secret identity? She could be lying. And Kingpin is like, I don't care how ridiculous it sounds. If anyone gives you a little breadcrumb of who Daredevil might be, give it back to me, right? So the guy
he doesn't want to take any chances.
No.
Yeah.
He's like, even if it's like a random person, I will kill them.
That's
just
kinda,
to make sure.
That feels very desperate. Like he
is very desperate.
So
at this point.
this is pretty far in. Like he's been getting trouble from Daredevil for a
many
long time.
years.
Okay. But he still has no idea who he is.
No.
Okay. I mean, who's gonna suspect the blind man?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And like from under his mask, he just looks like a white guy.
Yeah.
There's a lot of those in New York City. You know, it could be literally anyone. But if Kingpin has any sort of inkling of a name, he'll go after it. So Kingpin gets the name. He's like, "Oh, Matt Murdock is a fucking lawyer guy. I'll kill him tomorrow or whatever." And then Kingpin tells like Wesley, you know Wesley from Daredevil season 1.
Yeah.
He's in this. He's like his little buddy, Kingpin's little buddy.
So spoiler for the show, but it's been out for a while. Karen doesn't kill him?
No.
Okay.
Wesley. This book came out in the 80s, and Wesley is still alive in comics now.
Has he ever died?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Huh.
Anyway, so
So that's kind of an interesting choice then to make for the
know.
show. Is that just to have Karen break bad or what?
I guess.
Okay.
She's breaking bad.
Yeah, she's breaking bad. She's cooking meth.
Yeah.
Heroin, I guess.
Heroin, yeah. Here she's already broke bad like many years ago. She's been out of the Daredevil book for a long time at this point. So Frank Miller's like, let's get her back in and ruin her life.
Yeah.
So Kingpin's like, all right, thank you for like the name, but he kills the guys. He's like, I'm going to kill every single person who has touched this letter with Matt Murdock's name on it, just to make sure like there's no ties to me or whatever.
That's interesting.
It is.
How does that... But aren't they all people that work for him?
Yeah, but you know, people could be like arrested, interrogated. They might.
I guess so,
he can't take any chances. Yeah. He's very thorough. I love this image of Matt Murdock laying in bed.
Okay,
with
but
apocalypse.
I'm not sure I totally understand that still.
Okay,
so he kills everyone that has even touched the letter to get it to him.
Yeah, but it was
that
only
have looked at it, that know the name on the letter.
It was only like 2 or 3 people.
Sure, but even still.
What?
So, okay, you get a name on a piece of paper. That doesn't mean even that he's Daredevil.
No.
It's just a name. Do they know that that's the name of Daredevil? The people that have seen it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Kingpin
so I guess that kind of makes sense.
He will kill anyone. It doesn't matter.
But even still, it's like... Okay, how do I phrase this? If he kills Matt Murdock...
And he's not Daredevil, then he just killed, like, his own people.
Okay. No, I'm saying, like, if he killed Matt Murdock, there's still gonna be a way to trace it back to him. Right? Like, having the piece of paper with his name on it isn't gonna be the leading piece of evidence.
And
I guess.
And that's strike one for Kingpin. Yeah, that's why he fails.
Come on, man.
So then we pick up with Matt Murdock, who's in his...
a huge boner in his bed.
Yes.
He's sticking up right by his knees.
Yeah, there it is. I love this image. There's a lot of, like, one-page splashes of Daredevil laying, or... You'll see as it goes on, with like big letters like Apocalypse or other things. This is a crossover with X-Men. Apocalypse appears.
Yeah.
No. So Daredevil wakes up. It's probably like noon or whatever, and here he is naked, showers, gets ready for work.
He's so muscular.
I know. He goes and looks at the mail, and he has like a bunch of letters from the IRS, and he's like, "Oh."
How does he know? Are they in Braille?
Okay. So here's a magical superpower that they give Daredevil. He is able to, like, feel the pen indents of the letters.
I mean, blind people can do that sometimes. Yeah. I'm sure.
Yeah.
It's not totally unbelievable. If it's printed...
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know either. Hopefully they hand wrote it.
Yeah, they must have, right?
I don't know.
Is it in Japanese?
No.
Why is it, like, vertical? Right there. On that page.
Where?
Right here.
Oh, because he's like looking at it this way.
Oh.
Oh my god.
Oh man.
This is page 3.
Yeah, I'm sorry. We gotta. Yeah.
So Daredevil gets a bunch of notes from the IRS. He's like, "This is not good," and he's reading the. Well, he's running. He's reading the letter. Yeah, that's fine. And he's also going over his messages on his phone, his voicemail. And it's his girlfriend. Oh no. Also in the mail, he gets a tape from his girlfriend Gloria, and on the tape it's like, Matt, you're never around. I don't think you love me. We're breaking up. And Daredevil's like, oh, that's not fun. And then he's dealing with all the IRS stuff, and then he calls like his accountant, and his accountant's like, Matt, I see a lot of transactions here, and like you're not paying your bills and everything. And Matt's like, what are you talking about? Like, you know that I'm always on time. You know I have money. You know, like I'm not trying to, you know, I'm not being stingy with the IRS.
Does he work for that company, the lawyer company?
Nelson and Murdoch?
No, doesn't he work for a different one? You gave me a book. And he's in
That's
the elevator.
much later.
Oh, it is. Okay.
Yeah. At this time, Nelson and Murdoch is either disbanded or like it's very rocky right now.
So is he working at all?
No.
Just not even as like a private lawyer?
He is a lawyer.
Yeah.
I think Nelson and Murdoch is on the way out, but he is still a lawyer.
Okay.
Until the next page where they're like, all right, you're being disbarred.
Oh.
And Matt's like, what? What's going on? Like, what's going on? Meanwhile, we pick up with Foggy Nelson, who ends up, for some reason, he goes into Matt's girlfriend, or well, now ex-girlfriend's apartment.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And her house has been like ransacked.
Man, she broke up with him over tape.
Yeah.
That's
because he's never around.
That's worse than like a phone call.
I know.
Or a text.
Yeah. But like she's like, I went to your house, I've been knocking on your door for hours, you're never there, I don't know where you go, maybe you're a vigilante, who am I to say? She's also Irish, so she has that accent. That's not super important. But
it's not.
Whatever. So Foggy ends up going over to her house for whatever reason.
He looks sharp.
Oh yeah. Yeah. He's wearing a bow tie.
Nicely dressed.
So Matt Murdock's life is crumbling. This is the story of how Foggy Nelson's life like is perfect, while Matt's life is like in the toilet. So Foggy goes to Gloria's house. Someone broke in her house, fucking ransacked the whole place. She's really upset. She's like, I broke up with Matt. I'm so alone. And Foggy's like, well, you could stay at my house. And Gloria's like,
classic.
Yeah. And so Gloria's like, oh, Foggy, you're such a hunk, you know. Meanwhile, at the Daily Bugle, Ben Urich is on the scene writing a story about the Kingpin, as he always does.
Yeah.
Ben Urich is kind of a big character in this book. We'll talk about his story as it goes on. It's intertwined with Daredevil's.
Okay.
Daredevil ends up going to, I think, his lawyer's house in the Daredevil costume. Not his lawyer, his accountant.
I was gonna say.
Yeah, Daredevil goes back home.
Yeah.
He interrogates his accountant. Is like, why are you framing Matt Murdock? Why are you doing all this shit? And the accountant's like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Who's Matt Murdock?
Who's Matt Murdock? No, it's not his accountant. It's a cop. A cop who I think said Matt Murdock did some shady things, like shady backdoor deals. So Matt's like, what are you doing? Why are you lying about Matt Murdock? And then the cop's like, I don't know Matt Murdock. And Daredevil, the guy breaks a bottle, tries to attack Daredevil. Daredevil beats the shit out of him. Is like, why are you lying? Who are you working for? Like, come on, Matt, you clearly know.
Yeah, who else could it be?
Who else? Meanwhile, Foggy and Gloria are sitting at the fireplace talking about their like life and stuff. Flirting a little bit. She touches Foggy's hand. He's all like, ooh. But then he's also like, oh no, this is my friend's ex-girlfriend. I can't. And there's like...
But then Cool Night starts playing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Careless Whisper. Foggy takes off his bow tie.
Yeah.
So Foggy, they end up going to bed. She sleeps in his bedroom and Foggy takes the couch. I love this image with Foggy's foot just out. I love this moment because... Like, Daredevil's beating up this cop, and Foggy wakes up and he's like, it smells like bacon and eggs. And then he looks over and Gloria's cooking breakfast. And Foggy's like, oh, I think I'm in love. But I can't be. It's my best friend's ex-girlfriend.
But aren't they kind of estranged or what?
Foggy and Matt?
Yeah.
Yeah. But Foggy's still...
Does he know that he's Daredevil at this point?
I think.
Okay.
I think so. But he doesn't tell Glory or anyone else.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
And Foggy, like, they might not be on best terms right now, but they're still friends. You know, he's not going to be a dick to Matt. He ends up calling Matt and everything. While Matt is on this, like, rampage of trying to figure out, like, who's setting him up. And while the Kingpin is watching in, like, you know, his nerd gamer chair. He's playing Call of Duty. He has like 7 TV screens, one with the news, one with Call of Duty.
Yeah, he's on round 50 of COD Zombies.
Oh yeah, he's going.
He's got the ray gun.
Yeah, Matt actually ends up going to Foggy and is like, I need a lawyer. Will you help me? And Foggy's like, yeah, dude, I got you. And they lose.
What were they trying to do, though?
To, like, show, like, Matt is...
To clear his name,
To clear his name.
But in what way? Like, are they suing the Kingpin, or what?
Well, they don't know it's the Kingpin, so they don't really... Well...
Come on. There's no way he doesn't know.
Okay, so here's the thing. The Kingpin hasn't been on the scene for a while.
Oh, okay.
So Matt's like, it couldn't be the Kingpin. He's not here. He's not a part of New York anymore. He's probably in Mexico, maybe, with porn stars and heroin addicts.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Like he usually is. He's wearing his big Hawaiian shirt.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And so Matt loses, and Foggy's like, I'm sorry, bro. They hug. And then Karen Page is being chased by cartel guys. Because... Like I said, Kingpin is...
Everyone who knows his name, yeah.
Yeah. And somehow this strung out, like, 120-pound girl is, like, fleeing from these, like, cartel guys. Whatever.
It could happen.
Yeah.
They're just bad shots.
Yeah. Honestly, they probably are. So...
Stormtrooper aim.
Literally.
Yeah.
So she's, like, escaping, and she's trying to get to America to find Matt. Because she's like, I shouldn't have done that. You know, I feel horrible because for just a little bit of heroin, I sold out my ex-boyfriend, and now Kingpin's going to kill him. I feel terrible, right? So I'm going to go to America, maybe have sex with him, and, like, you know, be happy together again. So Matt's on his way home, and he's like, wow, I lost. I have no money. My bank accounts are frozen, right? I have no money. I have $10 in cash. Luckily, it's like, girlfriend broke up with me. Maybe he's sleeping with Foggy. I don't know. He's like, I could smell Glory's perfume on Foggy.
Yeah, he probably could.
I can hear them banging at night.
From across the city.
The city. Foggy likes being
turning into, like, Spider-Man.
Yeah. So, Matt's, like, on his way to his apartment, and then it blows up.
Oh.
Kingpin has blown up Matt's house. And he finds the Daredevil costume, and he's, like, all disheveled and everything.
That's a little excessive for someone who, as far as the Kingpin knows, is just a blind lawyer, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I get ruining his life and getting him disbarred and stuff, but blowing up his apartment?
Mm-hmm. And, I mean, here's the thing. So, since, like, Daredevil is rolling up to these cops and lawyers and judges and everything, trying to clear Matt Murdock's name, Kingpin is watching.
It gets a little more
and it's like,
obvious.
okay, it has to be him. So we pick it with Matt Murdock, who, again, here's another one. Purgatory.
A splash page of him
laying down. A little more disheveled.
Bed, though, too.
I know. He's in, like, this shitty fucking apartment that he got for $1, I guess. Yeah. He says, it smells like wet rats in here. Mm. And then, I love this.
Batman rolls up. Yeah. Looking for a meal.
He's like, yeah, I'm looking for a Robin.
How do you feel about eating rats?
Yeah. Yeah. And I love, like, he's like, it smells like wet rats, and then you see under the bed, and it's clearly a little rat hanging out.
Looks like a possum.
It does. It's a New York City rat. And Matt's like...
I've seen a New York City rat, man. Those things are huge.
Yeah, bro. It's horrible.
It's not just like... I always thought it was just a joke.
No, it's like a dog.
It's not. Yeah, they are...
It's like the size of my dog.
Bred differently.
So, Matt is like... He's having these dreams of murdering the Kingpin. And each time it's like... He gets out of bed, he stands up, he goes to his door, and then he kills the Kingpin, and then he wakes up. He's like, oh... And then we see more of, like...
Does the Kingpin put up a fight in his dreams? Or is he just wailing away on
I think he's just wailing away.
Yeah.
Matt, in his apartment, hears, like, heavy footsteps of, like, a big guy walking to his door. And he's like, it's the Kingpin, he's come for me. Like, Matt is just going crazy at this point. He's like, I don't know, I can't trust anyone. I can't trust Foggy. He's probably in on it. He thinks Foggy is in on it.
Yeah,
for a point
because they lost
because they lost. He's like, Foggy wouldn't do that, but maybe they'd kill like his mom or something, so he has no choice. Like I have no one to turn to, and so he's hearing these heavy footsteps, and he's like, okay. He grabs the phone. He's ready to murder the person who opens the door, and it's like his landlord, and he like chokes out his landlord, and it's like, oh god. And then just runs away, I guess, to find a different
I
apartment.
mean, he's probably a dirtbag.
Yeah.
All landlords.
Yeah. He's probably the one that put the rats in there.
Yeah, yeah.
Those are his rats. You get to see Kingpin lifting.
Ooh, this is
heavy
just like
weights.
the show.
I know.
He's huge. I
He
love
is
how
huge.
big he is.
Me too. Inhumanly fat.
Have you ever had a dream about brutally killing your nemesis? You have?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You.
Me?
No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
The
I have the same dream where you kill me. Yeah.
Nice.
But I'm huge.
Yeah, and bald.
Yeah, and you're blind.
So
does he need to work out?
I mean, no. Okay, so here's the thing about the Kingpin.
It's just
He
for
looks
it's
fat.
for his mental health.
Sure.
Yeah.
So Kingpin looks really fat, but in actuality, it's like all muscle. Right? He's like, only 3% of my body is body fat.
Is that true? Is that canon?
I think so. It's like all muscle.
He's like a sumo wrestler.
Yeah.
But, I don't know, do they actually have a lot of fat, or is that mostly muscle?
I don't
like
know.
a sumo wrestler.
I mean,
I don't really know how it works.
neither do I. But I know like a lot of like power, like big bodybuilders.
They're huge.
They're
yeah.
like, they are like, they don't have like six packs all the time.
No, because they bulk.
Exactly. So
And then the
Kingpin's just
muscle
a
grows
bulker.
in under it. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And his,
He
I
eats
think,
like 6 chicken breasts and a pound of rice
dude,
every
he
day.
eats 6 full chickens.
Yeah, yeah.
Not even cooked.
Bones and all, yeah.
Oh, yeah. For the marrow.
Yeah.
So, while Kingpin's lifting, Wesley is recounting...
His reps. He's a spotter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wesley got a call from like another guy that works for the Kingpin who is on the same subway as Matt Murdock, and there was some thieves that broke in on the train and were gonna like shoot it up or whatever, and it was all like a ploy made by the Kingpin to
Another test.
to see if like Matt Murdock beats the shit out of him. Look at that, he does. And of course Kingpin's like, well, no blind man could do this unless he was secretly Daredevil.
I feel like Matt he's a smart guy.
Yeah.
I feel like he should have figured this out, right?
He should have, but those guys were like literally gonna kill people on the
Yeah,
on the
okay.
train, so yeah, he like had to.
Hmm.
He also punches a cop.
He's probably pretty angry too.
He is. He's just letting
blinded
out
by his
frustration.
rage. Yeah.
He also punches a cop and steals his little baton. So
Good.
it's like, oh, Matt Murdock is deranged. Did you say good? the cop wasn't working for the Kingpin though. He was just a guy
Never
trying
mind.
to respond to the outcry of fucking violence.
Oh, he
on
was
the train.
going to help the people in the train.
Yeah,
Oh,
and then he
man.
gets fucking clobbered.
Okay.
So now the police are after Matt Murdock, and like,
Yeah.
you know.
So he just doesn't trust the police because
He doesn't, because
Yeah.
he knows like Kingpin's reach is very widespread. Anyone could be working for him. Daredevil was on the Matt was on the subway to literally go to the Kingpin's house and murder him. And so
he
gets,
knows where the Kingpin lives.
Yeah, there's Fisk Tower.
Yeah, but he actually like spends all his time there.
Yeah,
in
it's like the
Fisk Tower.
penthouse.
Okay. Sure, that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Like
yeah.
in the first season of Daredevil, Wilson Fisk is like not a known guy. You know?
It's all about him building his reputation.
Exactly.
Yeah.
In normal Marvel, he's like the most famous New Yorker.
Okay.
He's like Norman Osborn, billionaire, whatever, big skyscraper,
Playboy,
yeah,
yeah.
big skyscraper with his name on the building.
Yeah.
So Matt's gonna go murder him. You get to see Karen, who's like having sex with people for rides back to America, and she ends up getting with like this one guy who's like really terrible and is like, I own you now, like you're mine. Me and you will travel to New York together, and if you leave me, I will find you and kill you.
Oh.
So Karen's like not doing good.
And she's trying to get back to Matt.
Yeah.
To tell him that she's sorry or what?
Yeah.
To warn him? Because he's already in the middle of it.
I know.
So.
She's just like back to she's trying to get back
trying to get her
him.
back into the main storyline.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Okay.
So Matt rolls up on Kingpin while Kingpin was like fighting. And Kingpin beats the fucking shit out of Matt. And Matt gets knocked out and wakes up in a taxi, submerged in the ocean. So Kingpin like hired a taxi driver, to drive the car off a dock and have.
And he
Matt...
doesn't even wear the Daredevil costume to go and confront him.
Daredevil doesn't wear the Daredevil costume for the majority of this book. So Daredevil wakes up in the middle of the like drowning.
Yeah.
He's drowning. He's like, oh god. he swims back up, and now he has like broken ribs, and like he's all fucked up from the Kingpin. The Kingpin's like, now I know he's Daredevil. Well, and now he's dead because I threw him in the ocean.
Yeah,
but he's not.
Why didn't he like really make sure he's dead?
Yeah. Daredevil stumbles into an alley. It's also Christmas time. I should mention that. Okay. You see like Foggy and
is that important?
For like a scene.
Okay.
You get to see like Foggy and Glory Christmas shopping and everything.
But that water he was in was probably pretty cold.
Oh, very cold. So now he has hypothermia.
Yeah.
He's really going through it. Daredevil is like passed out in the alley, and he's like having little flashbacks of like when he was first blinded, his dad talking to him, and then this woman came up. Like he obviously couldn't see her, but he smelled her, and then he was like, "Who's there?" And then this woman like kisses him on the forehead, and he feels that she's wearing like a cross, so she's a nun, and she like walks away, and he never sees her again. And then here we go, another splash page of Daredevil in the alley.
Talk about the last page for 1 second, though.
Yes.
That's pretty awesome. I love that. It's just like him lying unconscious, but all the text is over black.
I love how it like zooms out also.
Yeah.
Until you finally get this.
See the full image. Yeah. It's very cool.
Here Foggy and Glory shopping. Someone tries to steal her purse. Foggy like
everyone's always stealing purses in New York.
Yeah, so this guy steals her purse, and Foggy, who bought a bowling ball for his brother, bashes the dude in the head with the bowling ball and gets the purse back for her.
That happens in Daredevil, but not Foggy.
Yeah.
Man, yeah. I didn't know he had it in him.
I know. Neither does he. He's like, oh my god, I actually did this.
He's like, am I Daredevil?
Yeah. Everyone starts hunting Foggy.
Yeah.
And of course Glory's like, oh, my hero, or whatever. Then we pick up with Ben Urich, who goes to the hospital to meet with the... You remember that cop earlier, Matt? Like, Daredevil broke into his house and beat the shit out of. So Ben Urich's talking to the guy now. And Ben's like, are you working for the Kingpin? And the cop's like...
Just straight up?
Just like...
Does he work his way around it?
Yeah.
Okay.
And the guy's in the hospital because his son has like... He's like dying or something. And the nurse right here... This nurse is actually really important. This nurse is like... No talking about... crime or police stuff. Like, your son is here and you're not even allowed to have visitors.
Yeah.
Ben Urich, get out. You could just see Karen, who robs a blind man of his change so she could like use the phone, I guess. Matt stumbles out of the wakes up from the alley.
It was Matt. She robbed Matt of his change.
Yeah. He's like this horrifying old man.
He looks like a zombie.
Yeah, he like grabs her and she like kicks him. Or she like beats him up. Maybe kills him.
He looks pretty dead.
He does.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, here he is, just his carcass.
Yeah.
Then we pick up with Matt, who stumbles out of the alleyway, which he was sleeping in, gets hit by a car.
He's got the worst luck in this
Yes,
book.
he does.
Yeah. It was the Kingpin. He was driving the car.
No, it's just Matt's blind and stupid. Yeah. He didn't see. He stumbles into another alleyway, which...
He didn't smell the car?
No.
Or hear it?
No, I don't know.
He's unconscious for like a
he has water in his ears.
Yeah,
you remember the character Turk from the Daredevil show? He's like the black arms dealer guy.
Yeah,
he's in this. Okay. He's dressed up as Santa Claus and he stabs Matt.
Why?
Because
he works for Kingpin, or?
Well, I mean, he probably does, but I think he was stealing money from people, and then Matt's like, cut it out, and then Turk just stabs him.
He's like, I'll cut it out of you.
Yeah, literally. So now Matt's like, he has a broken rib, he's been drowned, he has probably like a concussion, he got hit by a car, his girlfriend is maybe sleeping with his best friend, like, everything's going to shit.
Yeah.
Here's the guy that Karen is with, and he's like abusive and terrible.
He's the guy, yeah, okay. He looks scary too.
Yeah, everyone in this book looks really scary.
He's obviously a bad guy, but
yeah. So poor fucking Matt. He goes back to his burnt down apartment, just like revels in his agony while
And
Foggy
and his ex are like making out on the rubble.
No, but they are making out at Foggy's apartment.
He can smell them.
He can smell. He's like, I could smell the pheromones.
No.
I can smell Foggy sweating. Ben Urich ends up going into the parking garage with that cop guy, and the cop's like, all right, yeah, I was working with the Kingpin. The Kingpin, this is his whole scheme. To frame Matt Murdock and then kill him or whatever. Like, he doesn't just want to kill Matt. He wants to ruin his life and, you know, his credibility as a lawyer and everything. And while Ben and the cop are in the garage...
Is that why... Sorry to interrupt you.
Good.
Is that why he sent him underwater instead of really killing him? Is it because he wants him to suffer?
I guess so, yeah.
It's like, I'm not done.
Yeah, because if he wanted to kill him, he would have just shot him.
Yeah, he
crushed him with his big ass.
Yeah, decapitated him with a door.
Yeah, I guess he just wanted him to suffer a little.
Okay.
Makes sense. While Ben and the cop guy are in the parking garage, the nurse walks up to them. And the nurse is like, you should have shut your fucking mouth. And then punches the cop in the face.
Whoa.
And grabs Ben Urich's arm and is like, every time you speak the name the Kingpin, I will break another finger. And then breaks like a few of his fingers.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
And
Which fingers?
I don't know.
Okay.
Probably his like thumb. They'll show a cast
okay.
later. We'll look at it. And while Ben is like, you know, crying from the pain of his broken fingers or whatever, she like mutilates the cop. You don't see it. You just see like Ben's reaction. She doesn't kill the cop. He ends up going to the hospital.
She said he can't speak his name.
Yeah.
Well, what if he writes it?
He's like she says you can't speak it, you can't write it, you can't think it because we'll know and we'll find you.
That's pretty metal.
And then she's like,
"That's awesome."
She says the name of his address and his wife and everything, and Ben's like
just doxes him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Matt goes to his old gym where his dad used to work out. And he starts punching the punching bag, and he just collapses. And then all of a sudden, the nun from earlier comes out and like holds him. And this is Maggie, who is Daredevil's mother.
Is this the first time you know that?
This is the first time she ever appears.
Oh.
And she...
That seems late. I thought it was an early development.
No.
Huh.
There's Frank Miller, baby. So Matt gets, like, healed and shit. Maggie... Also, here's another one, him in another bed. A little better this time.
Yeah.
And it says Born Again, which is the title of this also.
Are those the covers of each issue then?
No, they're just like the first page.
Okay.
Or whatever. You get to see Kingpin like train by like hiring martial arts experts and then just beating them up. I guess she broke like every finger in Ben Urich's hand because he has like a full cast. Maybe she just broke the hand. Or whatever.
Maybe. I don't know. Would you have to have a cast on your full hand if you broke one finger?
I don't know. She must have broke maybe a few.
Maybe she just like the whole
thing.
The whole thing, yeah.
She just crushed it all. She was like a big woman too.
Yeah.
You know, so
she looked pretty strong.
So Matt is like being taken care of by his mother for a while. He grows a beard. It's clearly not like winter anymore.
So some time has passed.
A lot of time has passed, and of course Foggy and Gloria are like fully dating now, and everything's great for them. And then Foggy's at home and he gets a call from Karen. And Karen's like, I'm almost in the city, Foggy. I need your help. I'm like with this guy who has a gun and he's like really terrible. He's part of the cartel. He works for the Kingpin. I fucking ruined everything.
Also, his skin is gray.
Yeah, he's
so gross.
Yeah. And Foggy's like, oh, that's a lot to dump on me right now, Karen. We should meet for lunch. And Karen's like, you fucking idiot. No, I don't need food. I need help. But Foggy's like, just meet me, I'll help you. And she's like, I can't leave.
Yeah, how's she gonna get there?
Yeah, like, she just sneaks out. I think she's in the city.
Like, he's asleep right now.
Yeah.
She couldn't take his gun.
Yeah, I think so. She should.
Yeah.
She eventually finds her way to Foggy.
Where do they eat? Do they go to a restaurant?
Yeah, someplace. It doesn't matter.
You get like a sandwich?
Yeah, a nice
hoagie. Egg salad sandwich.
A nice hoagie for Happy.
Yeah. So
we pick up at the Daily Bugle where J. Jonah Jameson is like, all right, Ben, you're working on the Kingpin story. And Ben's like, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm not working on any story right now. And Jameson's like, what the fuck's the matter with you? You literally told me you were working on the story. And Ben's like, nope. And Jameson's like, All right.
Is that J. Jonah Jameson?
J. Jonah Jameson.
Oh, I didn't even know Ben Urich worked for the Daily Bugle.
Yeah. Not in the show because I didn't own that.
Right, okay.
But he works for the Daily Bugle.
Okay.
So he hangs out with Peter Parker sometimes, I guess. And Jameson is like, all right, you're working on a Kingpin story.
He's like, I want pictures of Daredevil.
I want pictures of Matt Murdock.
Yeah.
And so he's like, you're working on this Kingpin story, and you're really rattled, which only means one thing.
He's like, the Who-Pin story? Is that a bowling thing?
Yeah. And he's like, and you're really rattled, you're nervous, you're sweating, you have a broken hand, which I've noticed. Clearly he's gotten to you. So if you write this story and it ends up getting you killed, then like don't write it. Okay?
Oh. That's nice.
I know, I like expect Jameson to be a dick.
I mean, he's still a businessman. Like,
he cares about his employees.
Yeah.
And Ben like leaves the office, and then the janitor is like, "Remember, Ben, the Kingpin's watching."
Man, he's got everyone.
He has everything.
But not J. Jonah Jameson, right?
No.
Okay.
I think the Kingpin eventually buys the Daily Bugle in a later comic, but not here.
Is that to get Spider-Man?
I think so.
Okay.
Or it's Norman Osborn who does that. Whatever. Some businessman buys the Daily Bugle to get to Spider-Man. Then we back still with Ben Urich. I love this scene right here. Karen gets threatened by the guy.
Mm-hmm.
I love this scene here at the Daily Bugle. Ben is working on another story that's not the Kingpin one, and there's just like all the hustle and bustle of the Daily Bugle. You got all the different journalists and reporters and photographers and everything just talking about absolute nonsense, and you get this feeling that it's so loud in there and it's so like chaotic. And Ben he gets a phone call and he answers the phone, and it's the cop who's in the hospital from the nurse, and he's like, "Ben, it's me. I'm here. I want to tell you more stuff about the Kingpin." And Ben's like, "I don't know what you're talking about, man.
No, stop."
He's like, "You got the wrong number."
Yeah. I can't lose any more fingers.
Yeah, and then the guy's like, "Ben, what are you talking about? It's me. You know me. We got beat up by this nurse." And Ben's like, "Dude, I really don't know what you're talking about."
The thickest, most muscular nurse.
Yeah, and then the nurse walks in.
Oh no!
And it starts strangling the guy, the cop, while he's on the phone. So all Ben Urich hears, and I love these panels, is just like just struggling, and she kills the cop.
And the terror on his face.
Yeah. I love it. And then still it's like all the hustle and bustle of the Daily Bugle. Like nothing changes for anyone except for Ben, who's a witness to this murder.
But the nurse doesn't even know that the cop didn't tell him anything, right? So are they going to be coming for Ben?
Yeah.
Even though he didn't even get any more information.
Yeah. Literally. So Foggy and Karen meet up, and Karen's like, "I sold out Matt, told the Kingpin he's Daredevil, now all this shit is my fault." And Foggy's like, that's intense. And then but Foggy's not like a prick about it. He's like, "It's gonna be okay. I haven't talked to Matt in months, but like, we'll find him. Maybe he's alive." They don't even know if Matt's alive or not. He has been like off the grid. You get to see Maggie like praying alongside Matt as he gets better. You get to see so many shots of Ben Urich just like sad, disheveled. He's out here in like Central Park. He takes his cast off, and he's just like,
he can do that. You can just take it off.
And I think his hand's healed by now. I think.
No, I that's fine, but you can't just take a cast off.
Well, he does.
Okay.
And so Ben Urich also knows that Matt's Daredevil. I should mention that.
Okay.
He knows Matt's Daredevil, so he's like, maybe I should try to find Matt to like kill the Kingpin. You know, like this is affecting me now, and Kingpin knows my family. I need to. I can't do anything
for his own security.
Yeah,
he's gotta help.
Exactly. You get to see Daredevil like rise. He's at the gym again. Starts working out.
He punches the punching bag off the chain.
Oh yeah, to show that he means business. And of course Ben gets home. Oh, Ben is talking to someone else at the Daily Bugle or something about like Matt Murdock and everything. And then they're like in a diner, and behind him sitting is Matt Murdock, but you don't recognize him because he has the beard and everything. And he's Ben is talking to a cop. They gave Ben like a cop to protect him and his family, who like follows him around and everything. And so Ben's like, yeah, the Kingpin's coming after me and is looking for Matt. So now Matt is like, okay, this is affecting Ben also. Like, it's not just affecting me anymore. At Ben's like apartment, his wife opens the door. Ben walks in, and then the fucking nurse shows up again. And
at his apartment?
At his apartment, like, busts down the door and beats up the cop, Ben, and his wife. And Ben wakes up and finds his wife, like, being, like, hung.
Oh.
Or, like, she's already been hung, so she's been hanged or whatever. And she's choking out. And then all of a sudden, Daredevil, or Matt, bursts through the doors and, like, fucking kills the nurse or whatever. He doesn't kill her, but he beats her up.
Does Daredevil kill?
He doesn't like to.
But he does.
But he would.
He would.
Yeah.
If
he
necessary.
will kill the Kingpin right now.
Yeah. I don't know why I asked that. Yeah, I've seen him kill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Matt rescues Ben's wife. But I think he leaves before Ben could, like, wake up. Ben was, like, unconscious when the fight broke out. So Ben wakes up and his wife is okay and the nurse is bleeding on the floor, handcuffed. And Ben also helps his wife, who was being strangled, cuts her down, so she lives. Okay. So I think a long time ago you asked me about Melvin.
I did,
from Daredevil, and if he makes the Daredevil costume. So some of Kingpin's guys go to Melvin Potter and are like, you can make things, you can make suits, make a Daredevil costume for us.
Oh, I know where this is going.
So they don't give it a Bullseye.
Oh, never mind.
They go to jail and they do give it to, like, some psycho to put on the Daredevil costume.
But it's kind of the same idea.
Yeah.
Okay. I like when Bullseye has the costume. I think that's so cool.
I also really like that.
Does that ever happen in the comics or no?
I think probably. And you get to see Matt versus Daredevil.
It's a cool idea because, like, who else could impersonate?
I know.
Daredevil than
like
Bullseye.
It clearly has, like, if this was Bullseye, it would probably be a little cooler. This is just like a random psycho from jail.
You don't know who he is at all.
No, they just break him out of jail. I don't even think he says any words. He's just all, he's ready for killing. Which Matt beats him up pretty quickly because he has no training.
Yeah, I mean, he's been in jail too. So.
Exactly. Also, Karen breaks away from her captor.
Yeah.
He starts shooting bullets at Karen, and of course, Daredevil. Matt, not the crazy Daredevil. Matt finds her, and finally there's a moment where, like, what?
Say what you were gonna say.
Okay, so there's a moment where, like, Karen's running away, and before Matt, like, finds her again, she's like, she thinks she's gonna die. She's like, I'm gonna die. So she whips out a needle. And it's like, well, if I'm gonna die, I might as well, not feel it or whatever. And then she, like, sees Matt and then throws the needle down, and she's, like, saved.
So she just had a needle on her. It was already full, ready to go.
I guess so.
Okay.
Yeah. After the fake Daredevil doesn't work out, Kingpin ends up hiring a super soldier, like a Captain America type guy named Nuke, who is working Duke Nukem, who is working for the government.
Yeah. And
he takes pills. He takes red, white, and blue pills. And the reds, like, make him aggressive, and the blues, like, calm him down, and the whites do whatever.
Okay.
And he goes after Daredevil also. Matt and Karen, have sex, obviously.
Obviously.
Yeah. They're back together. Everything seems fine. Matt's even like, Kingpin, who cares? I'm getting late again. It's all good.
He can put it on pause for 1 minute.
Yeah.
Where, though? Because Karen doesn't have an apartment, and he...
I think they just find one. They just, like, get an apartment or something. I think they steal the money from the dude that was keeping Karen captive, so they just use his credit cards to buy an apartment or something. Matt becomes a chef at, like, a fast food, like a diner or something. He's just flipping burgers.
That's not a chef. That's a fry cook.
Yeah, he becomes a fry cook.
Yeah. Chef
at this diner.
It's like a 5-star restaurant. Yeah.
He works at, like, the worst diner in...
Okay.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure someone makes a joke that's like, this food is so terrible. What, they got a blind guy back there making it? And then you see Matt, And he's just flipping patties.
So what? Like he has to put the whole Kingpin thing on hold because he can't afford to live. Is that what it is?
I mean, kind of. I mean, he's trying to like
just
rebuild
trying to lay
his
low
life.
or what?
Yeah, he's trying to lay low and rebuild his life. And now he's like Karen back, and he needs money.
Well, it's like Karen's probably trying to restart her life too.
Exactly.
So it's like,
and he's teaching her like techniques to like not need heroin or whatever.
Sure, he knows
some martial art
he
things.
knows like meditation or something.
He's teaching her everything Stick taught him. So he's beating her. And like, now,
she's blind.
She's blind, and a teenage boy.
Yeah.
So Nuke ends up finding Daredevil, and they get into a huge fight. And finally, Duke, fuck you. Nuke ends up blowing up their new apartment. So Daredevil loses another apartment, and Karen is almost killed.
Can't keep an apartment.
No, we can't. And you think Karen's gonna die, and it's like really sad. And then Karen's like, Matt, and then gives him his Daredevil costume, and he's like, all right, time to go kick some ass. And it's this awesome image of Daredevil just with like fire. And I guess is that Karen down there? Maybe, I don't know.
On fire?
Maybe she's on fire.
Huh?
She's not. She lives.
I don't think he'd let her die in a fire.
No, but it's an epic image.
Yeah.
And then him and Nuke fight.
What is Nuke's deal? So he's just
he's like Captain America.
Okay. But bad.
But bad, and eventually Captain America and Thor and Iron Man roll up, because I said they fight, but they have like this huge sprawling fight. He has a helicopter that is shooting bullets.
Destroyed.
Things are getting destroyed.
Yeah.
There is so many people that are dying, and the Avengers roll up, and they're like, "All right, Daredevil, you need to calm down. There's a lot of people that are in peril right now because of what you're doing." And we know you're a good guy.
What I'm doing.
What I'm doing,
yeah.
And it's kind of interesting how like Captain America shows up and he's like, Nuke, like you're a super soldier, but I'm like Captain America was supposed to be the last one, so now the government is doing more super soldiers. So Captain America's like, that's a little fishy going on. He asks like Matt, what's going on? Like, do you know anything about Nuke? Daredevil's like, no, Nuke was working for the Kingpin. And Captain America's like, how interesting. I will beat the shit out of Nuke and take him to the United States government, I guess the president, or just generals and stuff.
Who's the president at the time?
It's like late 80s.
Is it made up, or is it the real president?
I don't even think they're just like,
just,
Mr. President.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. And, you know, it's really interesting. There's not like a final fight with Kingpin and Daredevil at the end of this book, because it was part of the Daredevil ongoing series.
Yeah.
So this book really ends with Matt like beating up Nuke, Captain America taking Nuke to the government. Kingpin is being like awarded for being a billionaire and like donating to charities, and you know, working out and everything as he does. And Matt and Karen like rebuilding their lives together. And it ends with like that little splash page, like one final full page to see Matt is finally out of alleyways and disgusting apartments, and his life's not too bad.
He's wearing a nice red sweater.
Oh yeah,
it's like his Daredevil costume, but suburban.
There is you can look through this.
Okay.
There is some comic, I think it's like a 2012 or 2014 run, where Daredevil goes into like a party. It's a Christmas party, and he has a sweater on that says "I'm not Daredevil," because at the time there were allegations that he was Daredevil and everything. But
so this entire story, Matt's life gets ruined
until like the very end, where it's still kind of shitty.
He finds like the best of the worst.
Yeah,
and he turns things around. Mm-hmm. But he doesn't ever get like
that final
closure.
No,
with the Kingpin.
I know.
He doesn't even fight him past that one fight.
That's why I gotta keep reading Daredevil for the next ongoing chapter in this saga.
So it does continue, though.
Of course. Okay. This is only Daredevil issues 226 to 233. Daredevil's always fighting the Kingpin. So it's like, you're never gonna miss out.
So what's the point of that? Just to get him out of being a lawyer?
I guess.
Huh.
They're always trying to get him out of being a lawyer or ruining his life or whatever. Every time a new writer comes in, they're like, how can I fuck his life up beyond repair? It's so
Poor
horrible.
Matt. Yeah.
He's Daredevil's one of those characters that's like he'll never be happy,
But
like for a long period of time.
it makes it interesting to read.
It does.
Yeah.
And I love the art. I think the art's great.
I do too.
I love a lot
think
of the
it's
Ben
great.
Urich stuff. This is probably one of the best Daredevil books. Like, even if it doesn't have that final battle with Kingpin, you don't really need it. Because at the end, the Kingpin also kind of, like... he doesn't go into hiding. He's still, like, out in the open. But he's, like... I don't know. He doesn't give up. But he's like, I got other business things to do.
Yeah.
Like, no matter what I do, I'll never kill Daredevil. Until maybe one day. And I'll keep trying. But for now, business.
But he knows it's Matt Murdock.
He does know it's Matt Murdock. For a later story.
Okay.
Yeah. Which maybe we'll talk about one day.
So you were saying that what's his name? Melvin. What's his like?
Potter?
Yeah, but what's his hero name or whatever?
I actually think
The Gladiator.
The Gladiator.
The Gladiator.
I actually
So
think
if he made a Daredevil suit for the Kingpin,
yeah,
that kind of implies that he knows how to make a Daredevil
so he
suit.
could have made the one for Matt. Oh, never mind. I thought.
But do you know? Like, it doesn't say
I don't
that he
know.
did.
I really don't know.
Huh.
I have no idea how he made that costume. The first Daredevil costume in comics was yellow.
Yeah. Yellow and red.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like yellow and like a blackish red. It's really weird. I hate that costume because it's like ugly, but I love it because those are like his father's boxing robes that he made into a suit. So I think like the Superman. Sentiment behind it is cool, but it's ugly.
It is.
But there's something classic about it. Like, why do we like Wolverine suit when it's like the same thing, like yellow and whatever, like whatever.
It's just what you know.
Exactly.
It's the
but yeah, so this was part of Frank Miller's like sprawling run on Daredevil, which he wrote for many years, many great stories. He created Elektra in the Hand and made Bullseye like a threat and not just like a goofy asshole.
Yeah.
Also,
that throws peanuts into old ladies' throats.
Yeah, I love that. I love that scene. But yeah, and at the same time around it, the same team, Frank Miller and David Mazzucchelli, also wrote Batman Year One. So they're rocking Daredevil and Batman's World at the same time. Those poor characters.
Yeah.
They don't get a break. But yeah, I'd give Daredevil Born Again Kevin Levin out of Ben 10.
It's pretty solid.
I think it's a pretty epic book. One of my favorite Daredevil books of all time. Yeah.
Nice.
It's a good read. Like I used to have that old paperback that I gave you, and then I bought this one, and I was just I started leafing through it, and I was like, maybe I'll read it, and then I just read it all in one sitting, and I was like, I can read, you know. And I was like, wow.
You're like, I'm not blind anymore.
I know. I was using my braille.
Yeah.
I got my braille
feeling
copy.
the pictures.
Oh yeah. I felt the inks.
So is that it?
That's it. Would you read this?
I would totally read it.
Yeah, well now you can.
I will.
Cool.
I'm interested.
Also, one second. Let me find the copy I gave you because it really makes me mad. So it's much like it's shorter than a normal paperback, and it's wider.
Huh.
So it sticks out on
Doesn't
my shelf.
fit on
more.
your shelf.
No, and
Huh.
I hate it. But now I have this normal one, so there you go.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I love the classic comic book style.
Me too.
There's something so pleasing about it. It's like not hyper realistic, but it's real enough to not be cartoony.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
I think it's the colors. For me,
the colors are kind of dull, but I like it. It's
Yeah.
not so in your face. It's very subtle.
And I think like I don't know, just the way they do colors now, like computer coloring, just isn't the same.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like this looks like it was like they used markers.
I know.
You know,
I love
like,
that. It looks
yeah.
awesome. But yeah, I think that is all for Daredevil Born Again. I definitely recommend it.
Daredevil Born Again. So he's a born again Christian? Is that the idea?
Kind of like, yeah, kind of in a way. He's like he finds his mom is like Mary, in a way, and he's like, Jesus. But a devil, I don't know. It's a little symbolic in some ways, maybe.
Yeah. No, it totally is.
Yeah.
Well, I think one of the things is not all Daredevil, because I've only read a couple and heard about a couple, but from what I've seen, something that it does well is that juxtaposition of the God in Christianity versus
the devil.
His righteous judgment upon the evil of New York City.
I agree. I love it.
I think
love
it's
Daredevil.
Awesome. Yeah.
I think Daredevil's my favorite character of all time. Maybe.
Yeah?
We should do that video. Like, compile
ranking
a list
them or
of
what?
favorite characters ever.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. Right now.
Daredevil.
Daredevil. Who else is there?
No one. No one in my eye. Nah. I think Foggy and Glory just live happily ever after.
Really? Okay. So is Matt okay with it, or
no?
Does he ever actually find out? Because I don't think he did. In this
I
book.
think he does eventually.
Okay.
But,
does he have an issue with it?
Well, he has Karen back.
Yeah, he's back with Karen. So.
Later, in another Daredevil story written by Kevin Smith, Karen will show up again after they've broken up. And she's like, Matt, I have AIDS. And Matt's like, oh. But then she's murdered by Bullseye.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh. They just kill her off.
They murder her. They blatantly kill that woman.
Man, okay.
Frank Miller, put her through porn and heroin, and then they murder her in a church. Like in Daredevil Season 3, when Bullseye's after Karen, and then the priest dies. I thought they were going to kill Karen, because it's just like the scene in the book. And
that's probably what they wanted.
I know, and they zoom in on Karen's face, and it's like, oh, she got stabbed, and then it zooms out, and she's okay, and it's the priest. That might be one of my favorite scenes in Daredevil Season 3. Man, so good.
Yeah. Well, thank you for listening to this episode of the Off the Shelf podcast. We've really enjoyed having you listen to us talk about Daredevil. It's been a lot of fun. I like hearing about it.
Yeah.
I think it's fun.
I think if you sat down and read a lot of Daredevil, you'd definitely love it.
Yeah. I mean, I already do.
I know. He has more good runs than bad runs. He's one of those characters who's very consistent in quality.
That's good. That's what you want. That's the ideal ratio.
He's the only one I could think of.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe nope.
X-Men.
No. Every X-Men book is great should be a crime.
What about Doctor Strange? Have you read enough of it to make that decision?
I mean, I'll say Doctor Strange is consistently solid.
Hellboy?
Okay.
Yeah, that's different.
Hellboy is consistently amazing.
Yeah.
Every issue I read, every book I read.
A lot of issues, but no issues.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What issues are we talking about? Find out next time in the Hellboy episode.
Yeah.
just kidding. Yeah. We'll do it one day.
We could, but...
Yeah, we'll do it one day. I'd like to reread some of it before we talk about it.
Me too.
Yeah.
I need to read it.
Read it.
Just in general.